Hey guys, it's Sirenic from merch.com with the third episode of the Road to Max Cash using merch. As I promised you last time, I was going to be recording in-game while merchanting and then explaining as I go, but I had a bit of a problem with my first two files. There was a problem with the setting which I didn't notice until after the second file, which kind of ruined those two files, and I won't be using those. Instead, as a temporary solution, I uploaded everything I did to my merch log, and I'll be explaining from there. And after that, I'll just show you the files that did make it. So apologies for that. Hopefully that's not going to happen again. So what I did for Araxxor, I had 50 mil cash in after this point here, and I just invested in 4 items, which was Tectonic Rope top and bottom, Vengeful Kite Shield, and Sirenic Chaps. The Sirenic Chaps did pretty well, as you can see, but I sold the Vengeful pretty quickly because of that, actually. I bought it around 14 mil and I sold it a bit higher, I believe. But I just really wanted to get in on Sirenic because the margins and the speed were fantastic. So I really wanted to try those out, and Vengeful rose to 30 mil yesterday. So I could have gotten quite a bit more for it. Unfortunately, I didn't, but I did make quite a bit of profit on Sirenic, so I'm not complaining. Here you can see Sirenic Mask Flip here, the Tectonic Rope Top that I resold. And this was an overnight buy, the Sirenic Chaps here. As you can see, pretty big margin, and I resold those here for almost 19 mil. Well, I was price checking a bunch of things as well. So that was great, really good profit there. And yeah, I'll just move on to the first recording here. Alright, today is Tuesday the 29th of July. Let's have a look at what my offers did that I put in yesterday, the low balls and the stuff I was selling. So yeah, all 4 of them completed, but where are my CN lines in my chat box? It's always the first thing I look at, is like the chat box. In the past, it would always say like, your offer for this and that has finished selling or buying or whatever. And I always loved that, like you would log into like 6 CN lines, it would be great, but nowadays it only happens while you're logged in for some reason. And then I always miss it because I'm AFK most of the time, so I really want those back. I'm not sure why they aren't there. So I'm just going to pull these out real quick. The Tectonic Rope Top obviously resold for what I bought it at. And then I have the Chaps and the Mask right now to resell, which were both low balls. Got to figure out a price here to sell that. Probably sell it just under 19 mil. Chaps have been selling the best out of all 3 pieces. They've been having really high volumes peaks, which is probably related to like which items people keep on death. People obviously protect their halberd over their chaps, and then they might pick something else, because obviously if they die they lose a certain percentage of the weapon or armor that they're dropping. So that's making people rebuy certain stuff more than other things. So I'm just going to sell those for that. That should work. And then I'm also going to sell the mask here. I haven't really had any high sales on masks yet, sadly. So I'm not sure how many people are using those or how popular they are exactly, but this should be a good price for a mask. And then let's have a look at the live prices here. Obviously very few people are sharing prices for stuff like armors at the moment because the market is being really profitable. I guess a lot of people don't want to share what they have, and that's also why we have very little updates and why this doesn't reflect the actual current prices that Sirenic has, for example. So I can't really do this with the graphs at the moment to show you guys how that works, simply because it's not up to date at this point. So right now it's just really experience based. It's also part guesswork, but obviously educated guesses. Wow, the Sirenic mask already sold. That's pretty decent, pretty fast. Well, since I know the sell price now, I might as well rebuy some and hopefully get a nice flip in for those. Just gonna go for 7.1-ish. That should do it to like 1.7 mil margins on the masks. Seems decent to me, worth the time. And they're pretty quick anyways, like there's a lot of demand for all these things right now. I think I've mentioned it in some guide, but like it's just really great to flip items that are needed for certain updates around the time that those updates are released. Like right now, flipping anything from like food to bolts to potions to armors, whatever, it's all a lot faster because demand and supply is higher. Let's see, what am I gonna do here? I'm just gonna price check a couple of things. Just want to see what Rocktail Soup is worth. I price checked it yesterday. It was over Met then, and now it's under, it seems. Under Met is pretty interesting, but I guess like as the boss is becoming easier for people, no, that's not a good margin. Want to see the graph though. I guess while the boss is getting easier for people, they switch to cheaper stuff to save money, because obviously it hasn't been very profitable for people thus far. Let's see here. Yeah, they hit almost 9.2 there, and it crashed back down ever since, but that's obviously because someone stopped thinking this was going to be a lot more useful than it actually was. But it simply wasn't. That's the point here. People are obviously using brews a lot more, so I'll probably check those as well. The Super Sardome, oh, oops, it's gonna redo that. Super Sardome Brew Flask 6, yep. So these are 43k in GE, but yesterday when I price checked them, they were around 80k. Not sure what people actually prefer, the Super or the regular Sardome Brew Flask. I don't entirely recall the difference here. So let's price check these. So yeah, let's just do 100k. So yesterday I got them for 80k, today they are 75k. Let's see what their margin is. Might as well flip some if it's decent, though it's kind of high risk, I'm not sure. Yeah, oh yeah, I was gonna check. So yeah, 62k, so that's like a 13k margin, which is great, but it's kind of high risk at the moment because it's almost twice as high as the Met GE price, something like 60, 70, 80% more, I'm not sure. So like, while it's a great margin to do a flip, I cannot take a whole lot of risks on this account right now. Well, I could make the series interesting, but I have like 30 mil in my pouch here, 14 mil here, and like 19 mil there. So that's like 63 mil, and if I would lose, let's say 10 mil on that, it's quite a lot of my bank. It's not really smart to take such large risks, and especially not to put so much cash into one item. So I'm not going to do that in this case. It's probably better if I play it a little bit more safely and leave the risks to my other accounts. So yeah, Malevolent here, it's just not good because people are not using this for Araxxor, obviously because of the melee attack, the cleave one, and Tectonic hasn't really done anything either because people simply prefer to range it, which is also why I'm just going to stick with Sirenic here. Also because it has great speed, great margins, and there's simply a lot of demand for it. So let's have a look here. I could also do some scales, I suppose, like stock some scales and maybe turn it into some armor, because scales usually buy for cheaper. Wow, chaps who sold and scales aren't buying for close to 500k. But then again, I'm selling scales like when these pieces are worth like 600 to 700k per scale, so it's kind of obvious that it's not buying for under 500k. Though I expect it to just buy for like 500k flat or something. Let's see. Actually, I just sold the chaps, so I might as well put an offer back in for the chaps since I have the sell price anyways. So that's what I'll do first, actually, not the scales. I'm just gonna buy 2 of these for 16, 17. What am I gonna do here? Now I'm probably gonna do 17, simply because chaps have been selling a lot higher in comparison to the other pieces. They're simply doing a lot better, which has to do with what people keep upon death, obviously. So yeah, just gonna do the chaps instead of the masks, because I already have an offer in for the masks anyways. Instead of the scales, sorry. Wow, I'm actually too poor. I need to lower that offer a bit. So let's see, I have 14 mil left, so I guess I can do a bit of scales here. Just gotta figure out the margin real quick. So that should buy. It doesn't buy. Okay, great. I'm expecting quite a high price here then. Just gonna check 600k, and if that's not gonna work, then never mind. Let's see. It's not buying. Oh wow. It's just non-instant bot. Non-instant bot for 600k. Oh my god. If I had offered higher, I would have found out the actual high price. That could have been anywhere from 600k to like 1 mil or something. Wow, that margin. Over 200k margin on scales. That's like a 2 mil flip per limit on just scales. That's ridiculous. I've never seen that. So I'm just gonna stock a bunch here, if I can at least, and maybe get some high sales in. Actually too poor for this one as well. So 36, should that be possible? It should be. All right. I'm not gonna have internet available to me over the next day, so as soon as any of these buy, I'm just gonna resell them for like 600k through the companion app. I also don't have the cash for Hogwarts right now, sadly, but I'll see where it all ends up and keep flipping. So like I said, I had no internet for about a day, but I did use the RuneScape companion app to flip a bit. I could have done with a bit more, but I was quite busy in real, so I didn't really get the chance to do a whole lot. What I did do was quite a few really nice Sirenic flips. I can just show you the screenshots here, but the link to the log is in the description of the video, so you can just look through it yourself there. Maybe leave a comment or two. So yeah, here are the chaps. I was pretty much flipping like Mask, chaps, Hauberk, all of them, which went pretty well. And here I did a few active flips for variety, the Pernix Boots, Elysian, and Ascension Bolts. Also because I need a little bit more cash for my inactive offers. And those all worked out great. I was pretty much flipping most of the stuff for about 1.7 to 1.9 mil margins, which went absolutely great, really fast. Wish I had a bit more time for it, then I would have gotten some more profit. But that's it for the stuff I did in between, well, pretty much on that one day that I had no internet. Today is 30th July. I'm back in internet land. I've been flipping, well, in active flipping and short-term investing a fair bit on a companion app for the account. But let's have a look at where exactly I am right now. So I've got 32 mil right here, which I'm gonna put back in now. And I've got these two selling, which is like 56.7-ish, so that's about 89 mil, and then another mask here for, let's say, 9, so that's like 98 mil altogether. Pretty decent, in my opinion, considering 3 days ago I had about 50 mil, and, well, yeah, 50 mil cash. So the Araxxor boss update pretty much helped me to really get a nice boost as a start, quickly make some money. I'm not sure how much time I'm gonna have over the next few days. I'll probably just continue at my current pace. So this mask is obviously, it hasn't sold in like, I think like 2 hours or so, so I'm just gonna pull it out. Actually I should check my history here to ensure I don't lose my screenshots. Still trying to get used to that. Wow, the Hauberk just sold, great. Alright, so I'm gonna sell this one like probably a mil lower because it hasn't sold for a while. And then I'm gonna rebuy. Actually, I should probably check the screenshot on my phone to see at what time I last flip chaps. It's quite a nice way to determine if you're on limit or not, because I don't always note it down anywhere. So yeah, I'm off limit for pretty much everything right now, so I'm gonna be buying some chaps as well. And after that, I'm probably just gonna upload this video and like the previous stuff as well, and then pretty much put it together into a video. Wow, I'm actually too poor for this one. Should pull this cash. Thought I did. Alright, just gonna reuse the price I had. So I'm just gonna leave these here and actually just put in a Sirenic mask offer. Don't know if I'm off limit for that one, but we'll just see. Hopefully buy some of those as well. And then get over 100 mil, that would be great.